Dear students, from the absorption of water by roots and the process of transpiration, we now in next chapter discuss about photosynthesis. Okay, means we already discussed about how plants get their water and what is the impact of that on it and the process of transpiration how reflect their to maintain their temperature. Okay, now we will discuss about how they formed their food. Okay, as you know, since class 6th, you every time read about this name and this process photosynthesis. Now you have to go in depth. As you go in higher classes, you have to go in depth. Okay, so photosynthesis in this chapter you have to know about the nature of the process itself and the great importance of photosynthesis to life in general, and some experiment to show the necessity of light, carbon dioxide and chlorophyll, and also the formation of starch and output of oxygen and carbon cycle. So if we start with introduction, all metabolism begin with the chemical raw materials that are collectively referred to as food. Some organisms are capable of synthesizing organic material from inert inorganic substances. Such organisms are known as autotrophs. Okay, mainly plants are the only autotrophs, whereas other depend upon autotrophs directly or indirectly for the purpose of food and are known as heterotrophs. Okay, these are some general things which you already know. The autotroph organisms are further categorized as photoautotroph and second is chemoautotroph. Okay, so as name suggests, photo means light. These are green colored plants and some algae also. They synthesize living matter, organic compound from the inert inorganic material in the presence of chlorophyll and solar energy. That's why they known as photoautotrophs. Now the second term, chemo. Chemo means chemical. Chemoautotrophs utilize energy released by their chemical processes for the purpose of synthesizing their food. Example are sulfur bacteria. On the other hand, heterotrophs depend upon the autotrophs directly or indirectly for the purpose of food. So, photosynthesis is a physiological process by which green plants, in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll, prepare food in the form of carbohydrates using carbon dioxide and water. Okay, this is the simplest definition of photosynthesis. So, what are the raw materials required for photosynthesis? So, four important materials are required. First is carbon dioxide, second, water, third, radiant or solar energy, or you can say sunlight, and next is chloroplasts. So, carbon dioxide it is the raw material for the formation of glucose. So, food mainly formed by this carbon dioxide in the plant. Okay, plants obtain CO2 from the atmosphere through the stomata. The stomata open or close depending upon the need of CO2 by the plants. Next is water. It is the second raw material for the process of photosynthesis. Plants get water from the soil by absorption as you have studied in chapter 3rd. So that's why these chapters are given to you that you can relate one chapter with another. What is the importance of giving these chapter one by ones in a sequence? So next is radiant or solar energy. The radiant energy is trapped from the solar energy or by sun by the green plant's colored pigment called chlorophyll present in the chloroplast. Because this pigment is mainly found only in plants and some algae, that's why they are capable of making their own food. Okay, whereas others which are heterotrophs not make their food because chlorophyll are not present in them in okay or not present chloroplast. So one, do you know interesting facts are there also? Okay, you have to read about it also because you have to know if you don't know. About 70 to 80 billion tons of CO2 is fixed annually by the terrestrial and aquatic phototrophs. So what are the importance of plants in our daily life, or you can say existence of this earth is very very important. Over 170 billion tons of dry organic matter is produced every year by the phototrophs. Okay, phototrophs. Only 10% of the total dry organic matter is produced by the land plants. The remaining 90% is formed in the ocean. So that's why it is called ocean is has the main ecosystem. Okay. The annual fixation of 70 to 80 billion tons of CO2 requires about 1.05 into 10 to the power 18 kilocalorie of energy. So much radiant energy is therefore being converted into chemical energy. It is only 0.2% of the solar energy received by the surface of the earth. Photosynthesis provides food for all animal life, including humans, are also life supporting free oxygen gas in the atmosphere for breathing. Okay, so next is chloroplast. So next raw material, if we talk about, it is chloroplast for the process of photosynthesis. These are green colored plastids found in the green colored part of the plant. They are very abundant in the leaves plant. In the leaves, normally 40 to 50 in each cell. In the leaves, they are present mainly in mesophyll cells located between upper and lower epidermis, that is, palisade cells and spongy cells. There may be 50 lakh chloroplasts per square millimeter of leaf surface. Chloroplasts are minute microscopic cell organelles of plant cell. Each chloroplast can be differentiated into three parts: membranes, stoma, and thylakoids. Okay, you already read about its structure maybe in the chapter cell. Okay, you have to look onto it. Chloroplast as seen under microscope. Okay, electron microscope. This is the inner membrane, this is outer membrane, and these are granules, these are thylakoids. Okay, where photosynthesis process take place. Stroma also there. Okay, when you go through in higher classes, you read about more detail photosynthesis. Okay, light reaction, dark reaction also there. Thylakoid flattened part is there. So if we talk about the membranes, the chloroplast is covered by a double membrane envelope. Okay, each membrane is lipoproteinaceous in chemical nature and selectively permeable. In between the two membranes is present a narrow space called periplastidial space. Stroma, the chloroplast is filled with a colorless ground substance or living material are called stroma. Thylakoids in the stroma are present flattened membrane sac-like structure which we see in figure also called thylakoids. The thylakoids are present like the piles of coins. These piles of thylakoids are called crana. The crana are connected by stromatal or fret lamellae. Chlorophyll, the vital pigment, is found in walls of thylakoids. The chlorophyll is a highly complex organic substance. It is made of carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, and magnesium. There are five types of chlorophyll molecules, out of which commonly occurring and most abundant are chlorophyll A and chlorophyll B. The chlorophyll molecules are associated with the membranes of thylakoid. About 250 molecules of chlorophyll form one quantasome. It is capable of trapping one quantum of energy and converting into chemical energy. So you have to understand that one chlorophyll molecule associated with the 250 molecule of chlorophyll. Okay, form one quantasome membrane of thylakoid. Okay, so in one membrane there are about 250 molecules form quantasome. So they are capable of trapping the quantum of energy, converting into chemical energy. This process is called photochemical act. So do you know the leaf appears green because chlorophyll reflects away the green wavelength of light spectrum and absorbs mainly red and blue wavelengths. Okay, that's why the color of leaf which we see, it appears green. In addition to chlorophyll molecules, the chloroplast also contain accessory pigments, carotenes and xanthophylls. These pigments help in transference of light energy to chlorophyll A. Chlorophyll is highly sensitive to light. Too much light may destroy it. So one more interesting term comes here, that chlorophyll become excited in the presence of light. It means the photon of light is absorbed, which raises the electron inside the atom to a high energy level. This initiates the process of photosynthesis. In the absence of light, plants develop a yellowish pigment, etiolin, instead of chlorophyll. So this is a interesting factor. The leaves acquire a yellow color and the stem becomes pale, acquire a yellow color, thin and long. Plants under the condition are called etiolated. Okay, this phenomenon is called etiolation. So you will understand by the term etiolation mainly the paling or yellow color of the leaves and stems. Okay, in the absence of sunlight. If continuously sunlight is not there for plant, it becomes yellow in color. So mechanism of opening and closing of stoma, you already read about it. Just for inference given here, the opening and closing of stoma is regulated by turgidity of guard cells. The stoma is open when guard cells are turgid. On losing turgidity in guard cells, the stoma gets closed. According to sugar concentration theory, old one theory, it was during daytime the guard cells start photosynthesis. The sugar produced during the process increasing the osmotic pressure. Due to increased osmotic pressure, water enters in the guard cells because of end osmosis from the adjoining cells. Hence, the guard cells become turgid and bulge outwards due to their thin outer wall, thus widening the stomatal opening lying between them. Okay, one more theory is there, potassium ion concentrated theory. This is the new theory. The opening and closing of stomata depend on the generation of potassium ion gradient. During day, photosynthesis occurs in chloroplast of guard cells, which leads to the production of ATP in the light reaction phase. ATP pumps the potassium ions of adjoining cells into guard cell. Increased potassium ion concentration in guard cell makes them hypertonic. Hence, water from adjoining cells rushes inside and the cell become turgid. The guard cell move, okay, outward to open out the stomatal pore. At night, potassium ions leak out, thus reducing the turgor of the guard cell and the stomatal pore closes. So there are two type of theory in which one said that sugar will be filled during the process of photosynthesis in the guard cells, that's why they are open. And second theory said that due to potassium ions, the ATP is produced, that's why they uh, guard cell open. Okay, in night time these activities not happen, that's why they go they will be closed again. Okay, so mechanism of closing and opening stomata, you already read about it. I just infer there too, because new theories are given there in this chapter, so we have to discuss about it. Okay, opening and closing of stomata you already know. So if you see mechanism of photosynthesis, we will read it in the next class and we will discuss about it in detail. Okay, and how which molecules, how many molecules are required to make one molecule of glucose and full process of photosynthesis. This mechanism we will read in the next class. If you have any confusion till here, you can ask me. Thank you.